Okay, if you're anything like me, you grew up hating math, wondering when it would grow up and solve our current problems. But as I've grown older, I've come to realize that math is actually very useful if you know how to apply it. Today I would like to tell you how to solve quadratic polynomials using the quadratic formula. I know that might sound scary. I learned this in my Aspects of Modern Math class with Dr. James Martin. Today I will teach you how to define a quadratic polynomial and the quadratic formula. I will also teach you how to input these terms into the quadratic formula, as well as how to solve for x. So let's start out defining these terms. So a quadratic polynomial can be defined as an equation that has three different terms. So this has three different terms. There's one that's x squared, and this is x, and this doesn't have anything beside the number. The quadratic formula uses these terms, and the quadratic formula is opposite of b plus or minus the square root of negative b squared b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Basically, to input these terms, all you have to do is note that this is the a term, this is the b term, and this is the c term. So with that, we use this formula, and we find out that it is opposite of b, so opposite of 3 is negative 3, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 3 squared, minus 4a, which is 1, and c, which is 10. So all you have to do to input the terms, and then it's 2a, which is 1. All you have to do to input the terms is drop everything but the leading coefficient. For this one, it would be there would be a 1 right here, and this one is 3, and that's 10. And with that, we're ready to solve for x. So the first thing you want to do is simplify everything under the square root. So 3 squared is 9, and then 10 times 1 is 10, times 4 is 40. So, okay. So you get the square root of 9 minus 40 minus 3a, or opposite of 3, plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 40, all over 2. And then you want to solve the top, and you'll end up with, I'm terrible at math, so be negative 31. Yeah, okay, so instead of writing negative 31, since it's under the rational, we're going to put 31i. And this will be negative 3 plus or minus the square root, the plus or minus 31i all over 2. And then with that, you want to separate these terms into negative 3 plus 31i divided by 2 and negative 3 minus 31I minus, divide by 2. Equate that to x, and this is your answer. So now you know how to use the quadratic formula to solve a quadratic polynomial. I hope that I've taught you how to input these terms, how to define a polynomial and the formula, and how to solve for x. Thank you.